Welcome everybody to another episode of Junk Removal Made Simple, brought to you by the one and only Lee Godbold with the Junk Removal Authority. Appreciate everybody for viewing this video. Hope to be able to give you lots of great information today. This is going to be something that a lot of people are wondering about, especially if they're brand new, they're researching getting into the business. They're going to want to know, how do you price? And there's several different ways of going about it. Even people that have been in business for a while are going to want to know, how do you price? Now, just to kind of recap, we have a bunch of videos out here now, and I haven't done this in a while, but what gives us, why are we the authority in junk removal? We started Junk Doctors, Junk Removal and Hauling in the North Carolina market. Over the first 5 years, we built it to a $2 million a year business by that 5th year. So we're in 3 markets: Charlotte, Greensboro, and Raleigh. And what we've now done is we've created the Junk Removal Authority to assist prospective and current junk removal business owners throughout the country with consulting, helping them grow their business, helping them understand their business even more than they do, helping them reach more customers, advertising management through customer acquisition management. That encompasses everything. We're not just online advertising. We research your market. We work with you to help train you on answering the phones, and we figure out an avenue in your particular market by researching your market, your competition, for you to get the leg up on your competition and reach more customers and get more customers to book, and make sure that works profitable. We're not just trying to bring you a bunch of calls like a lot of advertising agencies are. We understand the junk removal business. We know what kind of customer is profitable, and that's who we're looking to get to you. So, into this episode. Pricing. What's one of the first things you need to do, that I imagine a lot of you are, if you're getting in there and you're researching pricing? You need to research your competition. Now, this used to be much easier. I know I spelled that wrong, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. You used to be able just to look online, but now these companies are starting to hide their pricing. You now are having to call up. So like Got Junk, I think somewhere there was probably a pricing estimator on there now, but it's very hard to find. So what we're actually having to do is we're actually having to call 1-800 Got Junk. Every market we're looking to get into, we're calling up Got Junk. Star 670 your number, call them up, tell them in whatever market you are, your whatever zip code, and just kind of make up stuff that you have, and just kind of ask them to explain pricing and kind of learn how they charge. Now, most of the call center reps are not going to give you different pricing at different price points. You're going to have to fill that in. It used to be online. You could go online and you could know exactly what they charge at every individual price point. But a lot of them are starting to hide that. Junk King doesn't, so you can still research Junk King, but Got Junk hides it, and a lot of the other franchises and larger junk removal companies are beginning to hide their pricing. We don't like that. We like posting our pricing. We've always done it that way, and we'll continue to do it that way. But a lot of the big ones are now hiding it. So that's going to be one of the first steps, and that's what you should do. In your particular market, research your competition, understand how they're charging. Most of the big companies charge by volume, and we'll talk about that in just a minute or two. And then next, what's your particular situation? Are you new or established? Do you have reviews? Google reviews, Yelp reviews, something online other than your website. Do you show well on AdWords and organically? Why do I ask what's your particular situation? The other thing is how much money you're looking to make. How much do you need to make? This would be short term. We'd be wanting you to get rid of this mindset. I don't want anybody thinking about how much you need to make. I want people thinking about how much they want to make, and I want that number to be freaking higher than you've ever thought about in your whole freaking life. But we'll save that for another video. Y'all, a lot of y'all think too small on how much money you want to make. It needs to be a big damn number. It needs to be a number that it's hard for you to reach. Some of you guys out here thinking, I want to make $30,000, $50,000 a year. I want you thinking, I want to make $500,000 or $1 million a year. But we won't talk about that right now. We're going to stay on pricing. So why do you need to know your situation? If you're brand new and you don't have reviews, or if you're established and you don't have reviews, you don't show well on Google, both AdWords as well as SEO, and we'll ignore that. But these two right here have reviews and show well on Google, both organically as well as on AdWords. If you show better on Google, if you have a lot of reviews and good reviews, you can charge more. Charge more if good. Why? Because customers are going to be more likely to choose you, even if you're more expensive, if you have better reviews. And then if they find you first, you'll get a lot of customers that just want to get it done. That's been our major advantage with Junk Doctors. We show everywhere. We show everywhere. Customers see us everywhere. We have a lot of reviews. People know we do good work. They see we're a pretty good sized outfit, that we're locally owned. They want to use us. They know we're going to get to them same or next day if they need it done quick, and we're going to do the job right. That's why CAM's so important. Partner with us with CAM, Customer Acquisition Management. We're going to get you shit right where these customers, they see you just like they see Junk Doctors. It's a long-term play right there. We're going to work with you long-term. We're going to get your crap right where you got a business that's seriously just can expand like crazy. If you're new, or even if you're established and you don't have good reviews, you don't show well on Google, you might need to lower your prices, because what you want to catch then is you want to catch people who are price shopping. So price shopping customers. So those are the people you're going after. That's why it's so important to get your crap right at the start. When you first get going, even if you're doing the Google deal, you don't have very good reviews, but you are showing well on AdWords, you're probably not showing well organically. You still probably need to play that price game a little bit. If you're showing up top on AdWords, maybe not quite as much, might not go quite as cheap, because you will catch people that just pick the first result and roll with it. But until you have that reputation through reviews to back it up, you're probably going to price a little less. So play the cheap game a little bit. Say, I'm cheaper than everybody else. If you want to put a price comparison tool out there, you can. And get more customers that way, and then be pounding them, banging every single one of your customers. Bang them, bang them, bang them for reviews. Make sure you do a good job. Be banging on your team members to make sure they ask for reviews. So you got to do a great job, and then you got to ask for reviews, and then you need to send off an email with an easy way for them to post a review. Get those reviews, work with JRA on CAM to get showing better on AdWords and organically, then you raise your prices on up. Get those prices on up, get your margins higher. So what is your situation? That's what you need to consider. And how much do you need? That's going to determine how cheap you can go. And then forget that shit. Then get your desired, raise up your need to a level 5-10 times higher than what you really need once you get this other stuff straight. So you need to know expenses. What are expenses and your margins? And so you just need to figure all of your expenses throughout an entire job, and you're going to want to make about 30% on it. And maybe you accept a little bit less at the start, maybe you accept 20% or whatever. But if you're on the truck, you do need to account for your time, but you can fudge a little bit. So if you're not accounting for your time when you're going after the total profit, and when you're first getting going, you can. That'll determine how cheap you can go and how many more customers you can get, which will help you in turn get more reviews, which would then allow you to raise your prices up. But understand, you need to be monitoring this. With your first week or two in operation, monitor your expenses, monitor your income, run a real profit and loss statement, an actual P&L, and then figure your expense percentages and make sure they're about where they need to be. We have a bunch of videos posted on here on desired expense percentages, as well as a blog post on junkremovalauthority.com for you to find out that information. Don't ever assume that if you're pricing similar to the competition that you're actually making money. Their situation could be completely different. They might have a deal for cheaper disposal rates. They might have fuel on site. They pay less on fuel. They might pay their people a hell of a lot less. You don't know their particular situation. Always run your own numbers and understand your expenses and your margins. You can go, junkremovalauthority.com has a return on investment spreadsheet that you can download. If you have any issues downloading it, email me, lee@junkremovalauthority.com. I can give you that ROI spreadsheet, access to it, and then that'll help you out determine your pricing. And of course, Jerry, I'm always in 1 hour. If you do a little research, if I have you do the research, you can work with me for 1 hour by an hour of consulting, $150. I'll help you set your prices, and you'll be ready to rock and roll from day one. Okay, and your pricing strategy, what's it going to be? Is it going to be volume, weight, time, expense plus margin, or a combination? What's it going to be? Most people choose volume. That's what we recommend. Normally, but there is going to be a little bit of a combination going on here. So if you charge by volume, so just depending on the amount of space it takes up in your truck, you're going to have a minimum, you're going to have a maximum, you're going to have about 12 price points in between. For example, we have a minimum, an eighth load, a sixth load, a quarter load, a third load, 3/8 load, half load, 5/8 load, all the way up to full. You know, we work through several different price points. But you likely will want a limit on weight. So if you get to a job that's very heavy, you're going to want to have a way of charging more for that. You can charge by bed load. That's how the big companies do it. For it, like Got Junk, they do it to one. They charge bed load. It's anywhere from their minimum to their maximum price, generally like $450. Let's say it's $450, but that's only to a foot in depth. So it's 8 by 10, and then 1 foot high is how they do bed load pricing. We like doing it is more of a the heavy stuff is more of a expense plus margin. So the reason being is some concrete is heavier than other types of concrete, just depending on how it's made. Bricks and shingles, you can go higher than a foot. Tile, you might be able to go higher than a foot. But if you have a lot of gravel, that's very time consuming. So a lot of times an expense plus margin, run your expenses, figure your time, get where you can estimate the weight, and do expense plus margin. The other thing is if you have a very time-consuming load, you're going to be bagging up a lot of stuff. You might want to charge extra for trash bags, or at least if it takes per truckload, if each truckload takes like longer than 2 hours, charge an additional $50 to $100 per hour for that additional for that extra time. That's the way you go about it. I did see a very neat concept. Some of y'all could look into, could give you a little bit of a competitive edge by doing something differently. Is there's a company out there that actually charges by weight. So they actually have scales on the truck. When they load the truck up, it tells them how much more the truck weighed compared to its empty weight or the start weight, what you got there, and then the customer pays per pound. The problem with that is it's going to be very difficult to give a firm estimate up front. We like giving a firm estimate up front, however, that is a very unique concept. Guys, do not be afraid on some demolition jobs and some bed load jobs, concrete, dirt, especially concrete demolition, really heavy stuff. Don't be afraid to call up and sub that work out to either somebody that does all the work or a guy with a dump truck, a triaxle dump truck. We do this all the time. We got a guy, he comes, he charges us $75 per hour from the time he starts driving to the job site to the time he makes his last dump and heads home. $75 an hour plus disposal. And we can fill his truck all the way freaking full. And it's much, much cheaper to you to go that route, so you can charge your customer a lot less too. Most of the trucks that we use in the junk removal industry, the single axle trucks, cannot hold a lot of weight. Do not overload your trucks tremendously. One, you can get a hefty fine from the highway patrol. Two, you can damage your truck. Three, you have a huge safety hazard, and if that truck gets in a wreck and it's overloaded, you could be facing some pretty serious penalties. So don't mess around with overfilling your truck. Again, I did want to mention something I said is jobs that take longer. You need to let customers know up front though that this is going to be a time-consuming job. We don't know how long, much longer it's going to take, but it's probably going to take an additional 2 hours. So you're going to be paying another, I don't know, whatever you charge. If it's $50 an hour, $100. If it's $100 an hour, $200. So your expenses are higher than you generally anticipate. You need to get recouped for it. Don't be afraid to do that. Unless that's some sort of selling point that you don't do anything like that. The other thing is surcharges on TVs. Anything that costs you money, you need to be charged, you need to be marking up. So if it costs you $5 to dispose of a TV like it does us, we charge $10 for that TV disposal. Because it's in another facility we have to take it to. So we have additional expense, whether it's taking it back to our office, stocking up a huge load until we make a run, or if it's taking it separately straight to the recycling center. You have two locations, you have additional time you're paying your people, you have additional fuel, and you have additional effort where you can't dump that, you have to hand unload it. So upcharge your surcharges, TVs, tires, whatever else, monitor, computer monitors, whatever else you have to upcharge, make sure you pass that on to your customers. Again, unless it's a selling point that you don't have surcharges, and that's up to you. I don't think it's a strong marketing point, but depending on your particular area, could be. All right, you want to give them a firm price up front. Why do you want to do that? Because it's a huge selling point. So when people call up to you, you need to let them know that you're going to give them a firm price up front. Once you get there, it's no obligation, and you're going to book a lot more jobs. So you need to make sure you do that. Now, when you go and you give that price estimate, do it with confidence. Don't be unconfident about it. Don't look around and say, Judy, you're probably looking at like $480 and are you wanting to do 480? You know what I mean? That was a bad acting job there, but you know what I mean. You need to walk right up and say, Judy, looked at everything you have. You're looking at $480 here today. All I need for us to get started is you just to sign right here. Would you like us to get started? She says yes, get that signature. You're going to find you convert a lot more jobs. You have a lot less price negotiation, and people tell you no when you give that price with confidence. Be confident, guys, in your pricing. And also, don't talk it down. Generally, if you've looked at everything and you come up with a certain price, if anything, it might be a bit more expensive. Very seldom have you overquoted. So what will happen is people look at that price. It might be 3 truckloads. It might be $1,500 or whatever, and you're like, God, I really don't want to tell her $1,500, and you work it back down. Don't do that. You don't negotiate for her. You walk up and you say, Judy, it's $1,500. Just need your signature right here to get started. Would you like us to get started? If she wants to negotiate, then deal with it at that point. But don't do the negotiating for her. Don't you negotiate yourself, because if you bring it down, she might also try and bring you down, and then you're really screwed. So confidence, guys. Confidence is key when quoting these jobs. If she does want to negotiate, if the customer does want to negotiate, always look for, is there anything you can sell? And is there any scrap metal income? And if there is, you have a bit more room to wiggle. The other thing is how long is it going to take you? If it's a garage clean out, the stuff's piled right in the garage, you can load it up, it's a full load, you normally charge $490, you might be able to come down to $280. You might not want to volunteer that right off the bat, but you have more room to work. The other thing is, how far have you driven? How much expense do you have to get to that job? How busy are you? If you've been slow, you got a lot more room to negotiate. If it's been a busy day for you, or if it's a busy day and you're behind and this is an opportunity for you to catch up, maybe you don't negotiate as much. Always remember though, you need to tell the customer this is a one-time negotiation. So this is a one-time price. If you call us back out here, we won't be able to do that again. Normally our pricing's full. Always make sure you inform the customer of that. Some other stuff you will occasionally encounter is general labor type work. So people will call you out just to assist them with moving stuff around their house. How do you charge that? Generally, general labor. Typically do a trip charge, like a $50, $75. Plus something like $75 an hour prorated. So don't charge them for a full hour if it doesn't take a full hour. You know, give them that break. If it takes 30 minutes, only charge them for half that time. So sometimes what will happen is you'll do a combo of general labor and junk removal. What we do in that case is regular rate plus gen labor prorated for only labor. So this right here is something that'll come up. General labor is something you can upsell to. So at the end of the job, ask at the end of the job, ask the customer, is there anything else we can do for you? If they want you to move stuff around, it's going to take more than a few minutes, charge them general labor. Just let them know up front, yeah, we can, but it's going to be additional $75 an hour or whatever. This is a good upsell opportunity. Upselling right here. Sometimes you're going to assist with sorting. So you might not know, this is a job you might not be able to quote up front. Can't quote up front. You could potentially give a worst case scenario. If everything goes, so this would be like if they're just not sure, if they have multiple truckloads or something, they're not sure what's going and what's staying. You could say if everything in here goes, this is your worst case price. Then what you need to do is time the job. Pay attention to total load size. And if you spent, and then you need to figure percentage of time on labor. How would you do that? If it took you 2 hours, you had you say it was 2 full truckloads. It took you 2 hours. You had 2 full truckloads. You handled. You only have 1 full truckload in your truck. You know half your time was spent on labor, so you should have a full load rate, say $4.90, plus your hourly rate, say it's $100, and there's $5.90 in your total. Email me or call us 919-466-9322 or lee@junkremovalauthority.com. The easiest way, if you just need this, is just to email me. We actually have a worksheet you can use that your truck teams can use to help figure this price. Because a lot of times it's not so specific. A lot of times it's like a load and a half, and you might have 5/8 of a load, and whatever the remainder amount is on the truck. Those are harder to figure. We actually have a sheet that'll walk you through that entire process. Okay. Generally, if it's smaller demo, you might want to charge $50 to $200 for small demo. That means in addition to volume. So playhouses, sheds, that kind of stuff, and you know, that sort of deal. Don't be afraid of price increases. And watch your expenses. You know, watch your fuel expense, your disposal expense, your payroll expense, and your advertising cost. If any of those go up, if you can't limit them, then you need to raise your prices. Do not be afraid to raise your prices because you're increasing your advertising. If you can have the cheapest service in the world, but if people don't know about you, nobody can take advantage of it. It's selfish of you. It's selfish of you to keep your prices low where you can't reach more people. You have a service that's needed in your community. By you keeping your prices low, you're unable to unable to advertise as much as you need to. You're withholding information from your potential customers. You're keeping them in the dark. That's selfish on your part. You need to raise your prices up where you can do enough advertising, where you can reach more people, where more people can be exposed to your service, and really you can be profitable at the same time. Get your prices right, know your numbers. So, this is how you price. This might be a little quicker video than we typically do. I think it's been some good value. I think a lot of people probably haven't liked the value and how to charge extra for jobs that take longer, surcharges, general labor, assisting with sorting. A lot of this information is available by going out and looking, but I do feel like this is some great points. I hope everybody caught. Watch this video a couple times before you do pricing. Again, I highly recommend, if you do the initial research, I'll tell you what you need to research. Then we can get on the phone, I can look at your numbers, and we'll help set your pricing. It's be $150 if we can do it an hour, which we should be able to. If you do good research, we can do it on an hour, $150. And that right there, you'll make it up. But by having your pricing right, you'll be able to get enough customers because your pricing's right, and you'll be able to make money that you'll easily cover that $150 in no time. So, or you can try it on your own and mess around and eventually get it right, but it's going to be more expensive than that $150 if you're brand new. Guarantee it. CAM, customer acquisition management, as well as AdWords. We can start you out on AdWords, get you that instantaneous business. First month, $2,500 for AdWords, $1,750 month 2 through 5, $1,250 month 6 on. If you do CAM, $3,000 a month. It does not include anything from Google. You're paying Google as well. On AdWords, probably at least another $2,000. But we're going to make sure the business we're bringing you is profitable. It might take us a few months to get everything just right. But we're going to make sure the business we bring you is profitable. We're going to help you really expand, reach more customers. That's more repeat business that you're going to get in the future, and more potential referrals and more reviews. And that's going to help up your organic ranking, and we're going to bring your organic ranking up with CAM. Also have websites for sale, basic sites $3,000, full sites $5,000. Business packages priced at $25,000, $50,000, or $100,000. And please subscribe below to this YouTube channel. Just past 100 subscribers. Piddly shit, absolutely piddly shit. Though I appreciate every single subscriber we have. We're going for 1,000, then we're going for 10,000. So please subscribe below. Hope everybody found this beneficial. 919-466-9322. If you didn't find it beneficial, if you think I'm full of shit, you don't like what I post, let me know below. Complain, do whatever you want to below. Let me know how you feel in comments below. If you like it, I'd love to hear from you. If you hate it, I'd love to hear from you. So, appreciate everybody joining us tonight. This, of course, we'll have Trash Talk episodes coming up throughout the week. And this has been this week's episode of Junk Removal Made Simple.